Hello and welcome everyone. Me Faria Bijibit from your favorite channel ICF along with
Salome here.
Today in this video we're going to talk about the test known as IELTS and TOEFL. IELTS is the International English Language Testing System and TOEFL is the test of English as a foreign language. If you are taking IELTS, you probably know that there's a writing part of IELTS. Writing test 1 and writing test 2.
IELTS writing task 1 is only worth about 33% of your total writing marks. You will be marked on number 1, task achievement, which is 25%, number 2, coherence and cohesion, which is also 25%, number 3, vocabulary, and number 4 is grammar, which are also 25%.
IELTS Academic Writing Task 1 is a report on a chart. I mean bar chart, pie chart, line graph, table, map, diagram, process, etc. These are some sort of visual images. You need to describe what you are seeing. 20 minutes and at least 150 words. 160 to 70 is fine, but you have to describe the main information, making comparison and contrast, but no comments or opinion.
So today in this video, we are going to cover a small bit of writing task 1, the bar graphs or the bar chart. Here you see there is an example of bar chart question in IELTS writing. So the sample or the provided bar chart question here tells us about the elderly people's changing attitude to pastime in a community. So Faria, you tell us what we need to do at first.
So the first thing we need to do is to read the information attentively. As we know, the IELTS will always give you the description of the graph, that you need to find out the key information from the graph to understand the bar chart.
To get a high score in the task 1 writing of the academic IELTS, you need to give a strong and accurate description or analysis for the provided graph or diagram. So in this 150 words essay, it's easy repeating words and numbers. However, this is not good to get a high score. So in order to get a grade band level on this section of the IELTS, you must use a variety of vocabulary that will not only describe but also emphasize the changes and the similarities and the differences in the data.
Good, Salwa, but there's the answer strategy. First the introduction, then overview, body and conclusion. Now let's talk about the introduction. The introduction explains what the bar graph is about. Now let's study together. Look at the example graph on the board. What can we see? The name of the bar chart is Elderly People Changing Attitude to Pastime in a Community. So Salwa, how can we write the introduction of this bar chart?
Well, for you know, the first paragraph is the introduction. In this paragraph, one should introduce the chart in 1 or 2 sentences by simply paraphrasing the information from the question, what the chart shows and for what period of time. So we could easily just write the introduction for a sample bar graph like this way. The graph or bar chart illustrates elderly people's changing attitude to pastime in a community from 1990 to 2010. It is measured in percentages. So Faria, you tell me what are the other ways of writing this introduction?
Well, now we'll say the key phrases for introduction. In this graph, the first sentence is the graph or bar chart illustrates. But instead of illustrates, we can use the alternative verbs like shows or demonstrates, or indicates, or represent, or represents. We can also say that according to the bar chart, or we can see from the bar chart, or it is clear from the graph is, or it is clearly evident from the graph is. All these phrases are possible.
Look, Faria, I have rewritten my previous introductory paragraph like this way. It reads, the bar chart provides information about pastimes of the senior citizens of the community in terms of percentages between 1990 to 2010. How does it look?
Awesome, Salwa, but our video is getting large. I think we need to stop here. In the next videos, we'll cover all the remaining part of the writing task 1.
Sure, in the next video, we'll talk about the overview. In this paragraph, you should describe some general terms and features of the chart.
In the body form, you should write about specific features of your graph in 2 or 3 separate paragraphs. And you should describe all the presented information in a very clear way and not to give your personal opinion. Thank you guys. In the next videos, we will be talking about all these stuff in details. Keep watching.